here's some good news for the Americans dreaming of becoming president. It turns out the job requirements are surprisingly simple. You just have to be a natural-born U.S. citizen, 35 years or older, who's lived in the U.S. for the past 14 years. But, of course, there's another factor here. Money, honey. So how much does it actually cost to run for president? Registering as a presidential candidate isn't actually that expensive. First, you need to fill out, surprise, a government form. It's called the Statement of Candidacy, or FEC Form 2, and you're required to submit this within 15 days of becoming a candidate. So when does the average Jane or Joe become a candidate? According to the feds, you're automatically a candidate once your team has either received $5,000 in contributions or racked up $5,000 in campaign expenses. In June of 2016, the FEC listed 1,772 candidates. That's right, you're just 5,000 away from joining such influential Americans as Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Obi-Wan Jedi Kenobi, and Nicki Minaj. But remember, there's a big difference between running for president and actually winning. To campaign successfully, you'll need much more than $5,000. Now your next step will be getting on the state ballots. Each state may have different rules outlining how you can do this. Unless you're already established in the public eye, you'll need petitions. For example, in 2012, Democratic candidates needed either 1% or 500 signatures from Democrats in each of California's districts. But there are over 50 districts. This means you'll need a volunteer campaign along with advertising and probably paid staff. While it's possible to be a write-in candidate, it's not probable that you'd be able to garner any significant numbers that way. Caucus states like Iowa just require enough people to show up and cast a ballot for you. But there are hundreds of caucuses in Iowa alone. You'll need a strategy to reach these voters, which again means you'll need a staff. And you'll also need money for advertising, travel, and more. The cost of pizza alone for volunteers could run into the tens of thousands of dollars over time. Now by this point, the campaign has already become massively expensive, but luckily you've got contributors. Virtually no viable candidate is going to be self-funded. Instead, the average would-be president receives contributions from individuals, parties, corporations, political action committees, and so on. Uncle Sam has different limits on how much these entities can contribute during the primary and general elections, though. While every campaign is different, there are some definite trends. For instance, each recent campaign seems to be more expensive than the last. According to the FEC, President Obama's 2012 re-election campaign raised $683.5 million. Contributions from the Democratic Party and other outside groups raised the total to around $1.1 billion. When we combine all of the parties, the 2012 election was estimated to cost $2.6 billion. Pundits, fundraisers, and other policy wonks are predicting the 2016 campaign may top these numbers, with the Clinton campaign alone rumored to possibly reach $1.5 to $2 billion. These numbers have led speculators like The Economist to predict that the 2016 election may eventually ring in at an unprecedented $5 billion. So does this mean that you have to be a multi-millionaire to become commander-in-chief? No, but it does mean you'll need millions of someone's dollars to ensure that your voice is heard amid the din of all the other candidates vying for the public's attention. In 2004, George W. Bush spent $367 million for re-election, while the John Kerry campaign spent $328. In the 2008 election, the first Obama campaign spent $730 million, with the McCain side spending $333. And as we saw earlier, the 2012 Obama re-election push cost you $683 million compared to Mitt Romney's campaign's $433 million. Notice a pattern? In recent elections, it seems like the folks who spent the most ended up in the White House. And if this trend continues and you want to be president in 2016 or later, well, either start saving or start writing your supporters, because you're going to need all the help you can get. Which reminds me, does anyone want to contribute to my campaign? Because I'm actually running for presidentress of YouTube, and it just feels good to say it publicly. I don't know if that job actually exists, but gosh darn it, I'm running. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a moment of brain stuff and my failed election attempt.